Hello there, this is the first bonus video of the Pong with Defold series. We have gotten some feedback and we will be improving the game by adding small adjustments and features. In this particular video, we will be addressing a collision issue we found throughout the series. Initially, we implemented a very rudimentary solution for collisions, so we will improve our solution with another simple strategy. The main problem we want to solve is the case where the ball collides with the paddle in the top side. It looks off, the ball doesn't do what we would expect, right? To fix the issue, we will add more collision objects so we can easily differentiate between the side and the top. If you want it to be more precise, then we would do some mathematical solution based on the collisions and the positions of the objects, but for now, let's resort to learning more default concepts and we will use collision groups to improve our current game. Let's go to the main collection and we will start by renaming a few things. Let's start by renaming the collision object we have in the left paddle. Let's zoom in so we can actually see the collision object. Right, we're gonna be starting off the left paddle, and then as before we'll copy and paste and tweak some things. Cool, let's open this up. We want some more room here, and we've got the collision object. This should be fine. Let's we're gonna have two collision objects, right? What we're gonna be doing is we'll have a collision object for the side and another collision object for the top. This way, whenever the ball hits or collides with a top collision object, then we can react differently to it. So let's rename it to add an underscore v, because we're gonna be adding a horizontal one. And let's tweak a bit the dimensions for the box. We wanna the width to be around 3, as we want it to be very thin. The height is, we're gonna be using it like 122. We want it to be a bit longer. The depth is fine, and then for an x, around 13. So here we can see what we're going for, and then we're gonna have another collision object that's gonna be the horizontal one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add another component, collision object. We'll call the collision object underscore h for horizontal. Right, we need to make sure, so we're gonna be using it as trigger, just like the other one. And that's it. We need to add another shape. We'll use the box as well. So for this one, we're gonna be doing a bit differently. We want it to be at the top. So about 59. The X is gonna be fine. We want it to be in the middle, so that's gonna work for us. The width is gonna be fine, but then we want the height to be around 5. And that works. As you can see, we only have one at the top. So let's go ahead and add another box. We can have multiple boxes in a collision object. So because we want this to be on the other side, all we need to do is use -59. Now this still won't do it just yet. The other ID in the script, so if we go to the ball script, the ball movement script, this other ID we're using to check to make decisions on, it's gonna be the same. It's the other ID is the component, the game object ID. So for example, with the main collection, what we're gonna be getting is the ID of the paddle. And what we want is to be able to react to collision objects, right? And this is where collision groups come into place. Within the collision objects, we can specify which group they belong to, and also which groups it can collide with. So we do this via the group and mask. So group is the group it belongs to, and then mask is the groups it can collide with. So let's go ahead and just update them. So we're in the horizontal collision object. We're gonna call the group horizontal wall, and we can call this whatever we want. This is just the name we're going for. This is the one we're using for the top and bottom wall, so let's just keep using it. And this will collide with the ball. We haven't changed the ball's group yet, but we'll do that in a sec. Let's do the same for the vertical one. So to stay consistent, let's call this vertical wall, and then it can collide with the ball. Let's go ahead and update the ball prototype. Yeah, so we go to the collision object, we said this is ball, and right now we have the horizontal wall and vertical wall. We'll see if we need more in the future, but for now let's go with this. And I mean, let's give it a try. Yeah, so this is something that we need to keep in mind, and this is why I wanted to just go ahead and test, right? If we go to the main collection, so in the ball, we're explicitly telling the ball it can only collide with the groups horizontal wall and vertical wall, right? We didn't update the top walls we have here. Let's look at the bottom wall, for example. If we look at the collision object, it belongs to the default group, so it won't collide with it. If we wanted for it to collide, then this is going to be the horizontal wall, right? This is going to be a part of the horizontal wall, and it can only collide with the ball. So we need to do the same for the top wall. Let's go ahead and do that straight away before we forget. And the ball as well. Now let's give it a try. Yeah, it does, and it doesn't collide with the right one because we haven't been working with it. We can also, let's see if it goes to the left, and we can see the difference. Yep, that's still not fixed, but we're gonna go around that. Okay, now all we need to do is handle the right paddle, right? So what we can do is, let's just get rid of this collision object, sorry. Let's get rid of the collision object, and let's bring these two over. Now we'll need to make some changes, of course, especially because if we zoom in, we can't see the vertical collision object is to the left, but let's go ahead and we can just update this. Again, we just wanted the opposite, the opposite side, so minus 13 will give us the exact same results we want, and this should be enough. Now let's go ahead and have a look, and yeah, there we go. It is working for now. Now we haven't added the logic to handle the new vertical walls we've added. Sorry, the new horizontal walls. These two collision objects we added to the top and the bottom of the paddles. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's open up the ball movement script, and let's just make some more room here. There we go. Okay, fast. We're not gonna need all of these IDs anymore, right? We're just going to rely on the collision groups. So let's go ahead and just get rid of this. We have horizontal walls. Let's add the vertical one now. Okay, next, the logic here is gonna change a little bit. Instead of other ID, now we need to use the other group. However, we will still use the other ID, so we only collide with a single object once. Like, we still wanna maintain that. But here, instead of other ID, we'll use the message dot other group directly. We could also store it in a variable, but it's not that necessary. And yeah, so for the horizontal wall, we will be changing the y-axis, and we'll do the same check in here, but for the vertical, right? So if we hit a vertical wall, we need to change the x-axis, but if we hit the horizontal wall, we change the y-axis. That's pretty much it, really. Let's give it a try and see if it does what we're expecting, and there we go. So if it hits the top, it just goes to the, it reacts closer to what we would expect, and it definitely looks better. There we go. It's working. Awesome. Thank you very much for watching this first bonus video. There are at the very least 4 or 5 more planned, where we're gonna be adding some plugins and some other things to make the game a lot nicer, to add some more juice to it. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't, please like, and stay tuned. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.